Hi, y'all. How you doing? I wanted to talk briefly today about the differences we've had since COVID-19 and the pandemic started. So now it is actually September 2021, and the pandemic started about March of 2020. And I want to tell you briefly just some of the differences that have happened in the mortgage industry ever since this started. So around March of 2020, we had the stock market fall apart. We had the pandemic start. We had the government pretty much shutting down public places. And a lot of businesses were affected that are actually public businesses: restaurants, airports, airlines, service businesses that see people on a daily basis. A lot of these a lot of these businesses were highly affected. And so the mortgage industry actually struggled quite a bit last year. In 2020, a lot of programs went away. So loans for borrowers that wanted jumbo loans. So jumbo loans are typically loans that are higher than the Fannie Freddie conforming loan limits and require bigger down payments and better FICO scores. Those jumbo loans just went away. There's also a segment of the industry that is called non-traditional or non-QM loans, they call them. Those non-QM loans, they also went away last year also. So by April, a lot of these big programs were gone. And we were left with Fannie Freddie programs on conventional. We were left with agency, FHA, VA, and USDA loans still. But anything outside of that, we pretty much could not do anymore. And these programs didn't come back until about September, October of 2020. And when they came back, they were very conservative. Around January of 2021, we saw more programs come out. January and February, a lot more programs in the jumbo arena finally came out again. These non-QM programs also came back. Non-QM is primarily for people that maybe are self-employed or that have differences that make their loans not able to be qualified on a Fannie Freddie guideline or an agency, FHA, VA guideline. So these programs finally came back, and when they came back, they actually came back. Well, they came back with better rates because the government has been, putting a lot of money towards the mortgage industry. The Fed has been buying a lot of mortgage-backed securities. So they came back with better interest rates, but they also came back with more restricted guidelines. And so on jumbo loans, we are not seeing as high of loan-to-value ratios. We're not seeing things much above 80 or 90% loan-to-value. On the non-QM loans, we're not seeing quite as low of FICO scores either. I don't have access to every single lender's guidelines, but I know the lender I work for, the non-QM programs, they don't go down as low as 660 anymore. It's usually the lowest FICO score. That used to be more like 620. Now it's not lower than 660. We don't have access to some of the manual underwriting programs that are out there. There are manual underwriting lenders that are doing FHA and VA loans on manual underwrites, but they're not very easy. They have quite a few overlays now. There's still a big concern about borrowers making their payments, about self-employed borrowers being able to qualify okay, being able to actually show their business is in existence, that it's been actually operating the same way. So those kind of things are still in place. Fannie and Freddie and FHA and VA and USDA also put in place guidelines to where they wanted documentation more recent. They wanted to deal with things within 2 months instead of 4 months. They wanted to deal with more restrictions for the self-employed borrower, trying to prove that their business is actually operating right now, that they have current activity. So those things have made the mortgage process more difficult. Definitely been a situation where we work on self-employed loans now, and I say, oh man, those are always harder than they used to be. And working on certain jumbo loans now, I think the jumbo arena is just a lot pickier than it used to be. And so if you want to buy $1 million house, or if you want to get a loan over $600,000 or $700,000 and you can't be on Fannie Freddie anymore, then get used to more documentation, get used to more questions, get used to more restrictions, and definitely pick your guidelines on what you can do. So, but the mortgage industry actually has been very healthy. So, we are not dealing with stated income loans. We're not dealing with liar loans that we had dealt with back before 2008. And so the mortgage industry is very healthy. Most people that can make their payments are making their payments. There is a large population that is also on forbearance, and those people have been able to be on forbearance and not make payments on their mortgages for anywhere from 3 to 6 to almost 18 months now, and that's going to be hopefully discontinuing soon. So there's been a lot of changes in the mortgage industry, but some things are better than ever. We've definitely had better rates than we've ever had before. Mortgage rates have been between about 2.625 and 3 1/8 on a 30-year fixed. That's kind of jumping up and down, fluctuating little by little due to the market, but they've been very strong. And there's also a lot of differences in things that have changed. So anyway, it's actually even more critical now that you educate yourself on what can be done, on what loans can get done easily and where you can send those loans. It's very critical that you're aware of some of these overlays from Fannie Freddie for COVID-19, dealing with the self-employed borrower, dealing with different guidelines that have changed and gotten and become more restrictive. So anyways, here for you to give you any help I can. And if you want to post any comments about things you struggle with in this business lately over the last 18 months, or let me know what you feel like has been the most difficult about some of the COVID-19 overlays or the programs that have come back. I'm sure you've got a lot of experiences where you've had maybe a jumbo loan that didn't qualify like you thought it would, or maybe something happened and you thought your borrower was qualified, but there was another overlay you weren't aware of. So anyways, give me your feedback. Love to hear your comments. Love to hear you rant and complain about things that have not been easy in this business. And we'll hopefully try and get through it. So anyways, thanks again for your support. Have a great day.